So let's start with the big picture. What's the core problem this law is trying to solve?
Yeah, great question. So, every year we see 10 to 15 million pet ads go up online, like Craigslist and Facebook, all the classifieds. And most of those animals aren't spayed or neutered. They're sold into a market with zero guardrails. And that really fuels overpopulation, overcrowded shelters, and tragically, more euthanasia.
How does that actually show up in shelters?
Shelter staff sees it every day, and let's say a family walks in with a young lab they get online, they've bought online, right? It turns out the lab is pregnant at just 8 months old. Or someone shows up with a box of kittens because they're unaltered, and yet another litter. And statistically, about 3 out of 4 animals entering shelters aren't fixed. That's a direct pipeline from unregulated sales.
So some people might ask, why not just go after the sellers themselves?
You would think, right? But because ads are the choke point, without ads, backyard breeders can't reach buyers. So trying to chase down every single seller is like playing that game, whack-a-mole. But if you cut off the ads, you cut off the market at its source.
And what role do platforms play in all of this?
Yeah, they're the megaphones. Think of it this way: Craigslist, Facebook, YouTube, Google, they all allow thousands of pet ads with no real verification. They profit from the traffic. But when those animals end up in a shelter, it's local communities and taxpayers who pay the price.
So what exactly is your group proposing?
Well, it's simple. If you want to sell animals in California, you register in a statewide system, right? You provide a tax ID, a government ID, your sales address, and the birthplace of each animal. And in addition to that, a vet health certificate. And sellers pay an annual fee that funds oversight. So platforms can only run ads for sellers who've been verified.
How would that enforcement actually work?
Yeah, pretty directly. So if you're not registered, your ad doesn't post. If you're not registered, you can't ship that puppy on an airline or through a transport company. And if platforms or shippers ignore the rules, they face the fines of $5,000 to $10,000 per violation. So no new enforcement squads, no taxpayer raids. The system enforces itself.
What if sellers just refuse to register?
Yeah, so they lose their customer base. No ads, no shipping, no business at scale. They might move a puppy or two, by word of mouth, but the days of running large operations under the radar would be over.
Couldn't they just go underground though?
Yeah, some will try, sure, but you can't move hundreds of animals without ads and transport. This law isn't about chasing every single sale. It's really about dismantling the mass pipeline.
Okay, so let's talk about shelters. What difference would this actually make for them?
It would be huge, right? We were in San Diego talking with a shelter manager who said if we could stop just 10% of these intakes, it would change everything. Right now, kennels are full. Staff is exhausted, and euthanasia decisions are heartbreaking. They're cutting the flood of unaltered animals, gives shelters breathing room. So fewer unwanted litters, fewer crises, more resources for prevention.
And what about the cost? Will taxpayers be footing the bill for the system?
Nope. Sellers fund the registry through their fees, and platforms already verify advertisers. So we're just extending those checks to pet sales. Taxpayers don't pay for it.
How does buying a puppy online compare to adopting from a shelter?
It's really night and day. Online, it's quick, right? It's anonymous. You send money, you get a puppy. Shelters do it differently. They sit down with families, they ask questions, they provide vet care, and even offer post adoption support. That process keeps pets in homes. Skipping it puts more pressure back on shelters.
So, who really benefits if this legislation passes?
Honestly, everyone. Shelters and rescues see fewer intakes and get a level playing field. So buyers get healthier pets and real transparency. Communities deal with fewer strays. And taxpayers save money because shelters aren't being pushed to breaking point.
So, what's the ultimate goal?
Now, to take the profit out of unregulated online pet sales. If we shut down the ad pipeline, we protect animals, we protect shelters, families, and communities all at once.
Some critics might worry about privacy. Does the law go too far?
No, not at all. Selling animals is commerce, not private life. Just like, selling food or cars, it comes with responsibilities, transparency, tax compliance, consumer protection. This law simply applies that same principle to the online pet market.